definitely going to ask about that. So going on that, what is your favorite genre of game? At least what I was looking at, it seems like you're really into the fantasy setting.
Yeah, absolutely. RPGs are really the number one thing for me. Again, I started on Sonic, but I always tell people that what really, really, really kind of cemented my obsession with gaming was Chrono Trigger back for the Super Nintendo, because I got a Super Nintendo eventually too. And that RPG, again, another one kind of ahead of its time. I mean, it had alternate endings and all this, and I'm like, how did you fit this on this tiny cartridge? But those RPGs were just really, it's an interactive story. And what's better than being able to be part of a story? I love it.
To a layman myself or someone green as myself to Chrono Trigger, what about that game was so special? I've seen videos of, say, like Screw Attack like 10 years ago talking how Chrono Trigger's one of the best games ever made, and I've always wanted to play it. I
Yeah.
just haven't played. So what was so special about it to you?
I mean, I really hate the phrase lightning in a bottle because everybody always uses that, right? But it really was. I mean, for me, video games need to accomplish three things. I mean, they need to have good graphics, but that's secondary to me.
Oh, yeah.
They need to have a great story, and then they also need to have a good soundtrack for me as well. If they don't have a good soundtrack, it's hard for me to get into them because I'm really big into music. Chrono Trigger had everything. For their time, the graphics looked amazing. The story, I mean, the way that they had to work that story around, I mean, they had multiple different times that you were going into, and different things that you did in certain times affected the other time zones that you were going into. The characters themselves, they were great characters. I mean, you had a frog as a knight.
Yeah.
I mean, and then just again, going back to the story of it, there'd be decisions that you made in the beginning of the game that you didn't realize were a big deal. That later on, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's, part in the game.
The
I mean,
game's
it's old
over.
enough
The
now.
game's
I can
over.
spoil it.
Yeah,
It's
the
old
game's
enough
over.
now. If you
Yeah,
haven't
it's
played it, you deserve to be spoiled. There
spoiler
we go.
warning. Yeah, spoiler warning. The game's over
Yeah.
25. There's people that
Don't say how old it is.
yeah, there's people who are playing video games right now, and Fortnite's older than them. Like, yeah, so
Yeah.
you can spoil it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you end up in like a trial, for like kidnapping the princess, and all these decisions that you had, it would play back like, oh no, you did this, you tried to steal this, you did that. I'm like, and again, this was for Super Nintendo. This is before you had all this like storage that you could do. I mean, it's a little tiny like 8-bit cartridge, right? And it was able to store all that, save all that, and bring it in to again pull you back into that story and showing you that, hey, the decisions you're making have actual consequences in this game. And again, that was almost unheard of back then. You know, there wasn't like a consequence based kind of thing. You just played your game, and you know, in the moment, whatever you did is what happened. You wouldn't know later on. There was no like reference back a lot of times.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. It was
And maybe
it was the
make
best story.
decisions like not like today, where I feel like it's very admirable to see someone beat a game in a weekend. So I feel like it's more common to back then maybe to play a game for, they say, between 2 to 6 hours at a time, and then it
Yeah.
takes you weeks to beat what could be relatively maybe considered a short game. I've never played Chrono Trigger, so I don't know if it's long or short.
Yeah.
So some people who play it a certain style might be long. To others, it might be one of the shortest games I've ever played. Again, I've never played it, so I don't know how many hours it actually takes to beat. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you make a decision 2 weeks ago that you're getting reminded of, and it's like, what did I do? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I mean, and Chrono Trigger, very similar way. I mean, it was one of those games too. The way it was designed, you could beat it in like 6 hours, no big deal, but you wouldn't get the experience of the full game. To play
Yes.
the full game, one time I think I want to say I got like 40 or 50 hours out of a playthrough, which
Mhm.
again back then, I mean, that was a lot. It
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
nowadays, which let's not talk about how many hours I played Baldur's Gate. I don't know if that's public when you looked at it, but
Have I had access to your Steam? Because I'm assuming you've also played it on Steam.
yeah, I'm playing it now on Steam, but it was on the PS5 I was playing it on.
So
I mean, I'm at
unfortunately, the
600.
program I was using 600 hours.
Yeah.
That's kind of lightweight. You got to up those numbers.
Well, my ex-wife is up to a little over 900 on Baldur's Gate, so
So
she's
rookie numbers.
got me beat.
No, shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But but again, with Chrono Trigger, 40 hours, that's like in today's we'll use time inflation. In time inflation, it would be like 600 hours.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing with Chrono Trigger 2, again, going to the music, the music just, again, this is an 8-bit cartridge. So what can you do with the music? There's not a lot, but they made it sound absolutely gorgeous. Nobuo Uematsu was actually part of it, who, for anybody who doesn't know, he did a lot of the Final Fantasy video games. That was his thing. Those epic battles and everything that you're hearing, they were typically him on Final Fantasy. So he actually consulted on Chrono Trigger as well. So the music is...
Let's say Square Enix Chrono Trigger is a Square Enix game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it makes sense. It's all the same crew. That
should be Square. It was either Square or Capcom. It's usually either Square or Capcom back then.